guys, and welcome back to the Chaotic Kids channel, where I'm Michelle that commit my life here on YouTube as I try to become a full-time author, while also traversing the world's multiple personalities. If that sounds interesting to you, stick around. But today we are going to be working on 2 to 3 picture books that I've got planned to write. Yeah, so let's get into it. Okay, so today is the 27th of December. It is a Saturday. It's the last Saturday of the month/year. And I had no plans originally to work on picture books today. But last night, while I was praying the rosary, I was listening to some people on YouTube praying it, and I pray along with them. Just because, like, sometimes I do pray by myself, but other times it's just nice to have some other people praying with you, because then it feels like more of a community thing. I think that's how I want to word it. But yesterday was apparently the feast day of Saint Stephen. And I didn't know much about him, so I did some research. And his story is really fascinating. So, basics, like cliff notes, are like, he was the first martyr. He was directly appointed by the 12 apostles to be one of the first 7 deacons of the faith, and he had this great understanding and speech to be able to evangelize. Like, he had great evangelization work, pretty much. That's how I want to word it. I don't know. He had a great amount of faith, and he had the Holy Spirit was with him, and it was just so cool. And how he was born way far long ago. He knew the 12 apostles. So I think I looked it up in 580. So 5. That's how 580. So after Christ. I mean, after death, after Christ, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that is how long ago it happened. And after he died, he was stoned to death. He was stoned to death for his beliefs, and because all the Jews thought he was speaking blasphemy, because he was just talking like a crazy person to them, but the Christians knew he was speaking the truth and stuff. But yeah, he ended up dying, stoned to death. And the Christians at the early age, in that early time period, put him, after his death, they carried him into a tomb to lay him to rest, because otherwise the Jews were going to possibly, mutilate his body, do all these things against the body that probably shouldn't not probably shouldn't happen, it shouldn't happen to the body, after death. But they put him in a tomb, and then after, hundreds of years, so meaning, no one, people knew of him, but they didn't know where he was kept at, Then another Christian priest had a vision of seeing him, having a vision from God, being this is where Saint Stephen is. So he went and found this tombs and stuff, and, as they recovered the relics, so many miracles happened, and it was so, there were things recovering blindness, let me try to think of all the different things, but blindness, epilepsy cures, unexplained epilepsy cures, and unexplained health, ailments being cured. And so it's just that is why I believe so heavily in my faith. Because, that is so just cool. I don't feel like cool is the right word. But, it's just so, I don't want to say magical either. But it's just so, unbelievable. Because I'm how do you explain these unexplained things, how can you explain that this, I don't know, it's just, I love it, that's so cool. But yeah, so I did Saint Stephen's first draft of the picture book. I really enjoyed it. It's like 400 words long, maybe. I don't know. I didn't actually do the word count. But yeah, so I really enjoyed it. I'm going to go back and reread St. Francis of Assisi and St. Carlo Acutis, just making sure they're good. I probably won't change any of them, but I'm going to go reread them, then go back to St. Stephen, and then possibly go back to St. Maria Goretti. St. Maria Goretti was the one I was originally going to do before St. Stephen, but St. Stephen was such a spur of the moment thing that I was like, yes, I need to do him, you know? But yeah, that's kind of stuff that I'm going for. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think my game plan is just to work on this for today. But if I do have inspiration later, I'll do it some more. But I want to get back to working on JJ's chapter 19. Well, JJ's story, which is my Christian fiction young adult story. Um, but that'll all happen whenever it comes. Yeah. I'm going to take a little quick pause, and I'm actually going to talk about why I'm doing these picture books. I feel like that's kind of important to know, so I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so why am I doing picture books? So, if you guys know, like, as I say in the intros, like, I'm somebody who has multiple personalities. With my multiple personalities, I obviously have different alters in my system. So we are a system. We mostly just call ourselves chaotic kits. It just makes the most sense for who we are. But in our system, we have 3 different pen names / alters that are mostly focusing on works of progress. So there's Shelley, who does those books back there. They are not young adult, they're middle grade children's chapter books. That's pretty much all she's going to write is middle grade. But she has ideas to do picture books and maybe graphic novels too. But she mostly works in middle grade. Those books are for our nieces and nephews, stories that are inspired for them. Like their ideas, I create, and eventually the profits will go to them. While while Maris does high fantasy adventure novels like young adult, new adult books. Those are all her ideas, and they're all in a fantasy world. But then the third pen name is Grace, and Grace does Catholic books or Christian books. That is I would say her sole purpose. Her sole purpose doesn't sound right, but like, she is a part that really expresses her beliefs in God. Um, Everyone in our system pretty much believes in God, but there's chaos in our head about different religions and stuff. But we're primarily a Catholic person. So, Grace writes 2 different types of books. She writes young adult novels, which we're primarily working on our JJ project, which is so far, I think, at 52,000 words long. It's a young adult Christian fiction book about coming of age story with a character who is named JJ. He has multiple personalities. This book is seeming to be like 136, like the goal. I don't like saying the goal, but like the end word count might be 136,000 words long, which sounds ridiculous. But we're going through the stages of somebody who has DID, or dissociative identity disorder. So it's not going to be like a simple, clear cut, like, this is how easy it's going to be kind of thing. Even though, like, I don't think any book's easy. But, like, it's got a lot of depth to it. Because there's also, like, what's going on in the physical world, like, outside of the body. And then there's also what's going on inside the body, if that makes sense. So that's JJ's project, and that's the young adult that Grace is writing. But Grace is also wanting to do picture books that'll help get our name off the ground, because like we are planning on doing traditional publishing with this book, but we would like to have, like, say the young adult novels come out every 18 months, or like say every 2 years or something like that. I think we did 18 months because it gives us like 14 months to write the book and get the edits how we want to have them. Then they go to our editor and places like that in the publishing house whenever we get it. And then every, like, maybe 4 years, we have a picture book come out, or every 3 months. I mean, not every 4 months. Every 3 to 4 months, we would have then a picture book go out about different Catholic saints, if that makes sense. So, like, we'd have picture books, young adult novels, and just different, like, that would be the whole brand of Grace. But yeah, so Grace wants to get traditionally published, or at least picked up by an indie publishing house that is a Catholic-based publishing house. Yeah, so we do these picture books about different Catholic saints. We've pretty much come to the conclusion that we do want these books to be Catholic publishing house printed, just because I don't think we would do them justice for ourselves if we were to do indie publishing. And, like, I guess if we were to do self-publishing. So I'm like, oh, this one would make most sense as getting picked up by a Catholic publishing house. Yeah. So, that's stuff that we are currently working on. And the main reason why we're taking so much focus on getting these Catholic books worked on, instead of working on, say, Shelley's books, because Shelley's story up there isn't done. We're working on book 16 with a spin-off series that's got 2 books in it written already. So we have plenty of work to do in Shelley's books, but right now we just are like, we can't focus on Shelley's books because we don't have income coming in, so we're like, we got to do something. So we're working on Grace's books instead. While also trying to work on Shelley's books too. Yeah, so we're working on Grace's picture books right now. We've got so far 2 of them done, or at least as done as we're going to get them for right now. That's St. Carlo Acutis and St. Francis of Assisi. Like I said in the intro, we're working on St. Stephen's. I'm pretty sure it's done. We might go through and edit and tweak it a little bit more, but I'm pretty sure it's done. Then we will today we also want to work on St. Maria Goretti, who is a saint who died, I'm pretty sure she's a martyr too, if I remember correctly, but she died at a really young age, and she forgave her murderer. And another interesting fact about that is her murderer, I think, like, I've heard different things, like, back when I was originally doing this, like, possibilities, like, he might eventually become a saint, because he changed his life so dramatically from the time he killed Maria Goretti to the ending of his life, and, like, how he just changed his life completely. But yeah, so I have that idea, and I also might I'm thinking St. Paul the Apostle. Yeah, those are some books I might be thinking about doing today. But yeah, so it is currently 9:38. I've been talking for way too long. I am going to get back to work. I'm going to go back and edit, or just reread not JJ's story. Reread Carlo Acutis's and St. Francis of Assisi's books, then move into St. Maria Goretti's. Yeah, I'll see you guys later, okay? Bye! Guys, just got done doing my first attempt at St. Maria Goretti's story. Okay. With St. Maria Goretti's and with this book that I'm working on, like, with her picture book, I'm having troubles either getting in the storyteller, like, not getting in the storyteller's mind, but, like, I'm almost to storyteller mode, or, like, retelling her story, rather than, like, setting the stage almost, but I'm like, I don't know how else to describe it other than, like, to me it doesn't feel right, and I think I really need to get into, like, the Holy Spirit's mindset, or, like, feel really connected with the Holy Spirit to properly write it, because it just doesn't feel right currently. I don't know how else to describe it just doesn't feel right currently. So I still like what I've written, but I'm going to try and attempt to see if it gets better. But I'm going to pray a rosary when I do that to hopefully make it feel more connected almost. Yeah, and, like, I think another problem I'm having with, like, it's not a problem, but I think a problem that I'm having with it is because her story is so interconnected with Alessandra's, her murderer's, story, so they have to go hand in hand. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, the problem I was having with it is because I was like really feeling like I was retelling the story arc, well, retelling the story of her life, and I'm like, I don't know if that's how I want to do it. So I don't know. So I'm gonna take a little break, go to lunch, come back, edit what I have. Well, not edit what I have. Pray a rosary, then come back and try to rewrite it. See if Maria can come with me for the journey. Yeah, it's kind of how I'm thinking of doing it. I think overall today I've written over 1,000 words, which is good. But I'm not done yet. So yeah, I will see you guys later. Okay, bye. Guys, just wanted to come on and say I did finish Saint Maria Goretti's picture book. I really enjoyed it. I say actually a lot, but I got it correct. I liked this second attempt more than I liked the first attempt, so I actually deleted the first attempt of it. And I sent the first 4 books that I have, so Carlo Acutis, St. Francis of Assisi, St. Stephen, and then Stephen, I mean. It has PH, and I like to say Stephen instead of Stephen. And then there's St. Maria Goretti. So I sent those 4 over to a couple of friends of ours, and just see how they liked them. I wanted some feedback. I also am doing some research about Catholic publishing houses and stuff. Not really sure what I'm going to do because I do want, I don't know, like, I want the picture books and the young adult novels to go in the same place. Like, be published in the same place. So I'm doing research about that. But I don't know, like, a lot of the publishing houses that I'm, like, looking at, they have, like, I want to say older style book covers, or like they're more, I don't know, they don't fit with the vibe of the story that I'm telling, you know? So I'm kind of second guessing things, but I'm like, I know I want the picture books / board books to be traditionally published, but the young adult novels I'm not so sure about. But I'm like, I just need to think about it. I need to stop worrying. I just want to let it go because I told myself once I get JJ's story, so the young adult novel, to the point that I like it and it's completed, then I'll start querying that. For right now, I'm just writing. That's just what I gotta stick with. I need to stop jumping the gun with my picture books. Yeah. I think, honestly, I'm thinking instead of doing, like, unsolicited documents, like unsolicited manuscripts to different Catholic publishing houses, I might have to go through an agent just because otherwise I'm completely lost. Like, because I'm like, how do I get picture books and young adult books all in the same thing? I don't know. I need to stop worrying about this, though, and just write. But today I'm done writing. I've written about 1,404 words. 1,440 words today. Pretty good. I did 2.5. I'm going to count the first attempt as a book. Well, then I did 3 books. But so I did that. I also took down my Christmas decorations. So, yeah. That's all I got to say. I feel pretty confident in the works that I did today. I will see you guys next time where I'm either doing some work in JJ's story or I am doing the wrap up of 2025. So, yeah, that's all I got to say. I'll see you guys later, okay? Bye!